Soldiers of the 3rd Separate Assault Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine prepare for a new operation. The unit commander outlines the mission for the fighters and coordinates their actions with nearby Ukrainian units. The assault group receives its assignments and prepares to move.
Дивись.
The clearing operation begins in a settlement in the Kharkiv region. The soldiers enter the first courtyard and carefully check the initial building. After confirming that the structure is clear, they move inside.
Я йду направо.
After clearing the first building, the group moves into the next courtyard. The fighters coordinate their movements and search the basement while another soldier provides cover. The team proceeds towards several partially destroyed buildings where enemy fighters could be hiding. Russian forces often hide in unexpected places. Over the radio, the commander warns that the soldiers are clearly visible from an enemy drone and orders them to take cover in nearby bushes. The fighters continue checking the next house, using dim red tactical flashlights that are harder to detect from a distance.
Заходь в дом.
Я погреб проверяю.
Red and green tactical lights help the assault unit remain less visible during the operation. Drone operators detect a thermal signature behind one of the buildings, suggesting possible enemy presence. The fighters move toward that location to investigate. There are only a few buildings left to search before the area is secured.
Да. Через ці заборчики далі ми можемо до доступних хат.
Нам ще коня осталось, давайте.
Яка наступна хата? Ото зліва, ото, так?
Пацики, там де лісочок, куйочок оцей, максимально акуратно,
Єбать нахуй. Там пізда. О, погреб є. Твою мать.
The soldiers push through thick vegetation and soon find the first abandoned belongings of Russian troops. Drone operators track possible enemy movement and guide the assault group toward another building. Once again, the fighters approach carefully and begin searching the basement.
Майор, вийди на зв'язок, рейдер, прийом.
Та яка хата, блядь, на стромі мала бути? Чисто.
Плюс, рухай.
Тут прийняв.
Да, за колодязь зайти. Тихо.
The assault team must work quickly and efficiently. Enemy artillery and drones are constantly observing the area. The soldiers hear artillery shells exploding nearby and the distinct buzzing sound of an FPV drone overhead. Despite the danger, they continue clearing the buildings. During the search, they discover several Russian soldiers who had previously attempted to raise a Russian flag over the settlement.
Основне, оте, що нахуй? Що це, блядь? Сука, блядь.
Давай, пацики, красавці.
Я сам охуєш. Перший штурм такий, що ношей. У мене штурмов щось не було.
Пацани, це нахуй це фарт.
Я охуєш.
Це, пацан, це... Я вам скажу так, що це фартоноше. Опа. Голови нахуй.
The captured Russian soldiers immediately drop their weapons. They understand that fighting professional Ukrainian assault troops would likely cost them their lives. The prisoners surrender and are taken aside for preliminary questioning.
Я не знали. Змахав флагом. Позавчора.
The prisoners are searched for documents, equipment, and intelligence. During questioning, they claim they never wanted to fight and were forced into the war. However, many of them are contract soldiers who voluntarily joined the Russian armed forces and came to Ukrainian territory as part of the invasion.
Якось вашого розпізду. Кидай гранату нахуй, блядь. Та роз'їбіть його нахуй там уже, блядь. А, щас, подожди. Пацани, а ну дайте тепер папка наїбаша. Підарас, давайся, сука, тебе все равно пизда будет. Жить будешь, блядь.
The fighters of the 3rd Assault Brigade remain highly motivated and well trained. Russian currency and other items are found among the captured equipment. Meanwhile, other assault teams continue clearing nearby buildings. Some Russian soldiers refused to surrender earlier and chose to fight instead. Those fighters were neutralized during the operation.
Ебані кущі, поня, які там нахуй йдуть. А хто там ще сидить? Дальше. Много?
The group continues searching additional courtyards while other soldiers guard the captured prisoners. The commander coordinates the operation using live drone footage from above. Grenades are thrown into suspected enemy positions, forcing remaining Russian soldiers to surrender. They will later be transferred into custody.
Хуй їх знаю, блядь. Чисто.
Давай, не спіши.
Плюс, прийняв. Граната!
Ви знаєте, скільки вже у нас таких було, як ви? І більшість не хоче вертатись, бо розуміє, що їм пизда буде нахуй там. Могли бы просто прийти нам и сказать, мы хотим сдаться. И когда ваши военнослужащие...
The soldiers raise a Ukrainian flag over the cleared area. Drone footage shows how FPV drones previously struck Russian positions during the assault and clearing operations. After regrouping, the fighters continue moving through the settlement while coordinating their next steps.
Заїбіть, пацани, зараз ми вас тут візьмемо. Ми зараз будемо штурмувати ту вулицю. В'їбу прямо цей дом другий. Після мого вистріла кулеметник буде десь звідси, треба тут вас знайти точку. Все, займайте тут.
The squad leader updates the fighters on their positions and objectives. During the movement, they encounter a local dog wandering through the destroyed area. The soldiers promise to feed it and possibly take it with them to a safer place if the situation allows. The next objective is an enemy hideout. A soldier fires a handheld grenade launcher, after which the group prepares to move in and clear the position. From a nearby shelter, the fighters open fire at enemy positions approximately 200 meters away. After the grenade launcher strike, the enemy appears demoralized and possibly partially neutralized.
Красава, братуха! Загорелся, загорелся!
Вам, блядь, велетенське дякую. Якщо зараз все нормально буде, то вони нам піздець як поможуть.
Unfortunately, an enemy drone eventually locates the Ukrainian fighters. An explosion occurs nearby. The soldiers survive but suffer concussions. After recovering for a moment, they continue the clearing operation. Despite injuries, the assault team refuses to stop. The soldiers use every available weapon to suppress enemy positions. The clearing operation remains fast and aggressive. One fighter reports to the commander that several soldiers in the group have received minor injuries. Despite this, morale remains high. The soldier remarks that being part of the 3rd Separate Assault Brigade is both demanding and honorable. Thank you for watching. Support the armed forces of Ukraine, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave your comments.
Чикаго, у нас трохи проблемно, блядь, із держанням.
Today we are watching how soldiers of the 3rd Separate Assault Brigade conduct a rotation under intense enemy fire near Andriivka, Bakhmut direction. The fighters are under constant attack from artillery, mortars and drones, including FPV drones and aerial drops. Explosions are landing extremely close to Ukrainian positions. The video captures the rotation of personnel directly on the front line.
Байроном!
Мороз, Чикаго, знов. Наш далі.
Не продублировал, да?
Перед вами це наш.
One of the soldiers is seen shooting down an enemy drone from inside the trench. At the same time, mortar fire intensifies.
Азимут 30. Підерської посадки залетіла з противитись вам у спину.
Shells begin landing closer and closer to their position. The barrage does not stop for a moment. A very close explosion hits near the trench. The soldiers are concussed but survive because the shell does not hit their shelter directly. Over the radio, they receive updates about the situation around them.
Прийняли, плюс у мене... блядь, ГПшечка заряджена. Сука, гаряча. Якщо що, то буду цинкувати.
Another FPV drone approaches their position. The soldiers open fire and manage to destroy it. At one point, a soldier's rifle jams. Enemy FPV drones continue circling above. They are warned that many drones are equipped with grenades for aerial drops. The fighters must constantly defend against drone attacks while holding their positions.
Сашка, прямо на... Стріляйте, хлопці.
Та вона зі скидом.
Despite the pressure, the soldiers continue to hold their ground. They are waiting for their comrades to arrive and replace them.
Де він? Де він?
Жулік, навалі підара! Боже, Бога, Вимика оборону. Продовжуємо продивлятись пляшками.
Over the radio, they receive confirmation that one of the enemy mortars threatening them has been destroyed.
Тому будьте готові, будьте уважні, тримайтесь, хлопці.
Отдаю ГПшку. FPV, мужики, FPV.
Another FPV drone appears in the sky. It moves at high speed, making it difficult to shoot down.
Полетел. Бля!
The drone strikes a nearby friendly position, but the unit reports that they are still operational. The command comes. Evacuation in 5 minutes. An armored vehicle approaches to deliver reinforcements and evacuate the wounded and those who have completed their mission. As the soldiers begin moving, heavy artillery fire intensifies. Large caliber shells explode near their positions. Multiple enemy artillery systems are firing simultaneously.
FPV. Простреливай почти. Парни, М-ка!
An M113 armored vehicle arrives. New assault troops dismount on one side, while wounded soldiers are loaded onto the vehicle from the other. The troops take positions inside the vehicle behind the driver. The M113 is equipped with a heavy machine gun and provides covering fire. Enemy forces continue targeting the vehicle.
Идут! Блядь! Ну, блядь! Давай! Залетели, блядь! Давай, борт, давай! Погнали!
At first, it seems the evacuation is successful. However, the armored vehicle becomes stuck in the mud and can no longer move. The soldiers are forced to abandon the vehicle and retreat back toward their previous positions. The distance is significant, and they must move while taking cover in shell craters. Some of the soldiers are already wounded and require immediate assistance. One of the soldiers has sustained injuries to multiple limbs. The situation becomes extremely
Віра
difficult.
на зв'язку, борт важкий 300. М-ка не їде, там щось наїбнулось.
The fighters report to the commander and clarify the status of the wounded.
Мороз 300?
А?
Мороз 300?
Да!
Хто ще?
Сука.
Хто ще 300?
Лист і ти, старий. Пацани, давайте двигать.
Він все, у нього всі кінцівки, братан.
Знімай броню.
They decide to carry one of the injured soldiers manually. While evacuating him, an enemy shell explodes just a few meters away. The soldier filming is wounded in the leg. The injury is severe. At first, he says he cannot move. His comrade encourages him, telling him that others are crawling, and he will too.
Так, я погнав.
Another wounded soldier is evacuated
Давай, Гектор,
ahead.
пожалуй.
The injured fighter begins crawling toward cover with assistance.
Здумай тільки взривати себе.
The comrade warns him not to give up under any circumstances. The wounded soldier remains in position, waiting for further evacuation. Despite the situation, the fighters continue supporting each other. Soldiers of the 3rd Separate Assault Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine move toward enemy-held positions to begin an assault. The fighters dismount from a vehicle and quickly jump into a trench. For the moment, the entire group remains in one position, waiting for covering fire before moving forward. Under covering fire, one soldier moves closer to the enemy. Another fighter follows behind him while the rest of the group provides suppressive fire with automatic rifles. The assault group begins advancing step by step.
Давай! Вниз!
The soldiers move from trench to trench. They advance carefully, constantly covering each other. A grenade is thrown toward an enemy position as the fighters continue pushing forward.
Все, що тут є, це вот. А де калаха?
Все, її немає, її пізда. Ну, вона клине нахуй. Ось все, що є, у мене в руках.
Мені воду клянчить.
Я тримаю.
Отак, отака б вона
Тихо, акуратно.
Граната!
Whenever there is a brief moment, the soldiers check their weapons. Because of mud and debris, firearms can malfunction during combat. Two assault troops quietly move deeper into the trench system.
Вставай.
One of the soldiers suddenly spots an enemy fighter. At the same time, the sound of an FPV drone can be heard overhead. Someone manages to shoot it down before it becomes a threat.
Что, Либер, я ебашу? Може. Оставить на лучшее время. Есть гранаты? Нам
A soldier asks his teammates if anyone has additional grenades. The assault group continues firing with AK-74 rifles and GP underbarrel grenade launchers to suppress enemy positions. The enemy is now only about 20 meters away. While the enemy is disoriented, the Ukrainian fighters move forward. More assault troops begin gathering at the position. Once enough fighters are in place, they prepare to attack using all available weapons.
Мирончик, работа. Работа, Мирон. Воги, есть воги? Дайте вог. Сука! Пидорасы, ебаные. Давай, блядь, дай вог, сука. Мирон! Пригнись, Мирон! Быстро пизда!
One of the soldiers reports that the enemy position has been neutralized. He spots an enemy grenade launcher operator and opens fire. The assault group regroups and continues advancing toward the remaining enemy forces.
Я думаю, накрыл, хуй знает. Дайте вог, блядь. Далеко кинул. Чуть растянулся на вокове, чуть-чуть. Чтоб сюда, если... Посмотри на то, что долго нельзя стоять на одном месте. Ага. Есть. Кроешь? Ушел. Тут еще перед тобой есть? Держим.
Растянись вперед!
Вперед растягиваемся.
Вперед растягиваемся!
Вперед чуть растянись.
The fighters secure a branch of the trench to ensure safe movement. Suddenly, a command is given to withdraw. The group commander orders one of the soldiers to pull back, while others provide covering fire.
Что, аккуратно, секс впереди работает. Справа в окопе секс, аккуратно, внимательно. Готово, отходим? Секс, выходи, держу. Секс, выходи. Секс, отход. Секс. Давай, держу тебя. Давай, иди не с этой. Не могу заклинать ХПшка, братанчик.
One soldier remains behind to cover the withdrawal. The main enemy forces have been suppressed. This allows the assault troops to retreat safely to more secure
Пока держим
positions.
тут, секс. Держим тут.
Я с собой.
ХПшек ли. Есть. Даю. Есть.
The soldiers help each other reload their weapons, and one of the underbarrel grenade launchers jams and can no longer fire. Under the cover of small arms fire, the group withdraws to a safer location.
Все, отход. Секс, отход. Кроет. Крою! Дашу, крою! Давай! Хуй ХПшка четко накидывал.
The fighters discuss the assault and analyze their actions. One soldier explains that he saw an enemy fighter and fired at him using the grenade launcher. He believes the shot hit its target and helped cover the group's withdrawal.
Как будто в голову походу попал. Уж видел каску и въебал в каску. Кого въебало? Осколок? Осколок? Шерлок, трубы забрали?
The soldiers examine captured enemy weapons and equipment. For a short moment, they have an opportunity to rest before evacuation. Soon, the next operation of the 3rd Separate Assault Brigade begins.
Нащупай. Сбоку? Да, я тут. Есть кнопка, чувствуешь это? Ну ладно, давай сам не сделаю. Можно уже снимать, похуй. Фу. Фу, блядь. Надеюсь, адвокат...
In the next mission, soldiers dismount from an M113 armored vehicle and immediately open fire. They are warned that friendly forces are positioned ahead, so fire must be carefully controlled. The fighters move forward under the protection of the armored vehicle. The assault group comes under intense enemy fire. They return fire immediately. Their advantage is the armored vehicle equipped with a heavy machine gun.
Плюс! Скала, речь! Фредик, за мною!
The group commander coordinates the movements of the fighters. Another assault team dismounts from the armored vehicle and joins the attack as reinforcements. Both groups continue advancing under the protection of the M113. The armored vehicle clears a path through dense bushes and vegetation. It also provides cover and ensures rapid evacuation if there are wounded. Two group commanders coordinate their actions while directing the vehicle forward.
Да, мої там десь висадились, я йду їх найду.
Давай сюда, и М-ку подвигайся тоже туда.
Да, плюс. Парад, М-ка, парад!
The fighters move behind the armored vehicle. Dense vegetation slows their movement. The vehicle pushes through branches and obstacles while simultaneously protecting the assault group.
Хорош, хорош, хорош. Швидше, заходи, заходи! Пацани, треба ці нори нахуй зачистити.
Enemy bunkers and shelters are systematically cleared. Seeing that the enemy resistance is weakening, the commander orders an attack. The assault troops seize the opportunity to capture the remaining enemy positions.
Крой, Гарри! Огонь перенеси! Гарри, блядь! Огонь нахуй!
Пошли! Готов!
The fighters occupy the enemy shelter they have just cleared. An enemy FPV drone can be heard overhead. Another bunker is cleared and the soldiers complete the assault operation.
Ебать, сейчас сдохну, ебать.
This is a detailed analysis of one of the most dramatic combat videos from the Russia-Ukraine war. The footage, recorded in August on the Avdiivka front, shows a textbook example of an assault on a strategically important enemy position. The operation was carried out by the reconnaissance company of Ukraine's 59th Motorized Infantry Brigade. 2 Humvees carrying Ukrainian fighters approach the enemy position. What follows is a fast-moving assault that will later be remembered as one of the most striking examples of coordinated trench warfare on the Eastern Front. The assault team is a combined international unit. Among the fighters are Ukrainians, Americans, and Canadians. They are divided into 3 assault elements: Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie. The vehicles stop near the enemy position. The soldiers dismount and immediately move into combat. From the first seconds, the battle becomes extremely intense. Bravo Group advances toward the enemy trench line. The distance between the opposing forces is extremely short, less than 10 meters. Grenades are thrown toward the enemy positions, while suppressive fire begins immediately. The soldiers are forced to react quickly, moving through the trenches while maintaining constant fire.
I'm gonna frag it!
The perspective now shifts to a marksman operating at extremely close range. He must react instantly to enemy fighters appearing only meters away. The battle is taking place inside the enemy trench network, where space is extremely limited. Soldiers are firing almost shoulder to shoulder. In such conditions, there is always a risk of accidentally hitting a teammate. However, the fighters are well trained and respond quickly to every threat. The battle is fast and chaotic, but the fighters operate with remarkable discipline. Many of the soldiers have combat experience in other conflicts around the world. Americans, Canadians, and Ukrainians share tactics and battlefield experience. Before this operation, the unit conducted joint training and coordination exercises. All communication between Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie groups is carried out in English, allowing the international fighters to coordinate effectively during the assault. The wounded fighter is an American volunteer. An explosion throws debris from a defensive structure onto him. A large wooden beam from the enemy fortification collapses and strikes him. Despite the blast and concussion, the soldier remains conscious. His teammates quickly remove the debris and help him move away from the active fighting area. He begins crawling towards safety to await evacuation.
Jesus, cock. Ugh.
Idiot! Got the PKM!
You're okay, mate. Hey, push in the cover here. Okay?
Meanwhile, Charlie Group advances toward another enemy position. They provide suppressive fire while moving forward. The enemy is extremely close, sometimes less than 10 meters away. At one moment, Russian forces fire an RPG-7 grenade launcher toward the Ukrainian fighters, but the shot misses. Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie groups begin surrounding several enemy positions simultaneously. The defenders are gradually trapped. Ukrainian fighters now control both sides of the trench network. Russian soldiers have very little room left to retreat. One wounded Russian machine gunner removes his body armor and tries to treat his injuries. Another Russian soldier attempts to help him while Ukrainian fighters observe the situation. However, a serious mistake occurs. The wounded Russian machine gunner is underestimated. Despite being injured, he suddenly opens fire again and hits a Ukrainian fighter with his machine gun. Immediate medical assistance is provided to the wounded Ukrainian soldier. At the same time, a Russian FPV drone appears overhead. Fortunately, it misses its target and explodes nearby.
Drone! Fuck! Suicide drones! They're coming for us. The suicide drones. We need cover.
The wounded Ukrainian soldier receives treatment. His equipment is removed to make evacuation easier and to examine his injuries. Meanwhile, the battle continues.
Can you get my belt? Cover me!
The machine gunner responsible for the attack is eliminated with a grenade. This section of the trench becomes clear of enemy fighters. The assault group continues advancing deeper into the position.
Fuck. Yep. I don't know.
Bravo Group is now fighting in another section of the enemy defenses. Heavy return fire continues. The battle turns into extremely close-range trench combat. Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie groups gradually close the trap around the remaining Russian fighters. Soon, most of the defending infantry will either be incapacitated or captured. At one point, a Russian soldier accidentally runs into a Ukrainian-held trench. Realizing his mistake, he immediately runs back toward his own lines. The American fighters do not fire at him because he appears unarmed. They assume he is surrendering. However, the soldier had simply entered the wrong trench. He manages to escape back to his own position. The remaining enemy fighters are exhausted and demoralized. They continue resisting, but their situation is hopeless. Grenades and suppressive fire are used to finish clearing the position. Eventually, the strategic height on the Avdiivka direction is captured. Despite injuries, destroyed equipment, and heavy fighting, the assault operation is successful. One of the Humvees used during the assault was destroyed earlier in the battle. Fortunately, the crew and the soldiers inside survived. The Russian forces respond with heavy fire. Various types of weapons are used against the assault group: artillery, drones, and small arms. Ukrainian defenders often fight in unequal battles against larger enemy forces. Many volunteers from other countries stand alongside them. In this operation, Americans, Canadians, and Ukrainians fought together as a single unit. Their cooperation and battlefield experience played a crucial role in the success of the assault. These soldiers are not only defending Ukraine, they are defending the right of people to live peacefully and freely. Their determination and solidarity inspire people around the world who have suffered from aggression and war. Many believe that justice must prevail and that those responsible for aggression must eventually face consequences. Throughout history, Russia has conducted numerous military campaigns and conflicts. In the 20th and 21st centuries alone, Russian forces and associated military groups have been involved in conflicts across multiple regions of the world. These wars have often brought destruction, displacement, and suffering to civilian populations. Such conflicts demonstrate how war creates poverty, instability, and human tragedy. Today, Ukrainian soldiers continue defending their country against invasion. They fight alongside volunteers from many nations who share the same belief in freedom and justice. Thank you for watching. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave your comments. Glory to Ukraine. Glory to the heroes. See you in the next video. Fighters of the 3rd Army Corps dismount from an armored vehicle and prepare to storm enemy positions in a forest belt on the Eastern Front. Inside a dugout, final coordination takes place. At the same time, a field team deploys with drone support to conduct immediate aerial reconnaissance of the exact positions targeted for assault. With constant eyes in the sky, the unit maintains real-time battlefield awareness. The drone provides critical intelligence just moments before the attack begins, allowing the assault group to move with precision and confidence. The soldiers locate an enemy dugout. Several grenades are thrown inside, followed by small arms fire to clear the position. After securing it, the fighters take cover in the former enemy shelter and methodically continue advancing in the enemy's direction.
Все, надо займать укриття.
Що ти заникався? Обережно, контрольно, обережно. Север, наліво.
Drone surveillance confirms enemy presence, but resistance collapses quickly.
Все, клас.
The sector is cleared, and the group pushes forward.
Сектор впереді.
Север плюс.
Спереді від вас, метрів
Drone
15-20
operators
за
and the
шнуром
unit commander
зліва.
identify another shelter where an occupier is hiding. This individual signals his intention to surrender, discards his weapon, and moves toward the Ukrainian assault troops. Lying on the ground, he claims to be from Azerbaijan and says he is not fighting for ideology, but simply trying to survive. However, trust in such statements is limited. These forces entered Ukraine as part of an invasion. The prisoner is escorted to cover and questioned for intelligence that may assist further assaults on nearby positions. He appears unwell and is given water and time to recover. He is then transferred to a shelter where other soldiers and multiple prisoners are being held. Medical aid is provided. Meanwhile, the assault group continues coordinating its next steps. The prisoner is moved carefully as he appears to be suffering from a concussion. Reconnaissance continues, with the commander and drone operator surveying the area for additional threats. Enemy troops are again offered the chance to surrender. They respond with gunfire and are met with return fire. Another prisoner is captured during the engagement and provided medical assistance before being escorted to shelter. The forest area is densely fortified, requiring a systematic and comprehensive clearing operation. Prior to this assault, extensive reconnaissance had been conducted. Artillery, drones, and various units worked to weaken enemy positions and minimize risks for the 3rd Army Corps assault teams.
19. Благодаря таким як ти. Я йду воювати.
Братан, дивись, треба, щоб вся твоя лінія змістилась метрів 50 вперед.
Выходи, сдавайся! Выходи!
Ти откуда прийшов? Яке укриття ближайше? Оттуда?
Оттуда йшов сюди? А куди йшов?
Потерялся. Везде стреляют.
А що ти хотіли? За ту сторону воюєш. Голова, два уха. Воевать пошел.
Да меня заставили подписать контракт.
Как жмурили вас, будем жмурить дальше. Пока не...
Она идиотов.
А что, текать собрался?
Я иду вообще,
Не
я
ори.
не знаю. Нас выгнали, говорю, как свиней.
Кто выгнал?
Командир.
А.
Я бы лучше не хороший для кого-нибудь хорошего.
Все, ти будеш сьогодні для хорошого діла працювати, допомагати нам. Щоб ми теж поїхали додому разом з тобою.
У вас есть курить?
Есть, я потом дадут.
А кто пленный?
А я еб как его позову.
At one point, a hostile drone waiting near a road is spotted and neutralized by a sniper, eliminating a potential threat. Inside the dugout, coordination continues. Fighters take brief moments to rest before resuming the assault. Many occupiers choose to surrender. Numerous enemy troops remain hidden in shelters throughout the forest, creating an immense workload for the assault team.
А, не, в принципе...
The scale of the enemy's defensive network becomes clear. The forest is filled with deep, reinforced shelters, some large enough to accommodate vehicles or even tanks.
Дип! Ты сдаешься или нет? Последний шанс! Он ствол выбросил! Стой! Руки покажи!
Another enemy soldier is captured. Disoriented but unharmed, he claims to be alone in his shelter. After the position is secured, he is escorted to join the other prisoners.
Бегом! Бегом! Идем!
Уходи! Бачите, ми повністю прочистили ліс. Так, все, мужчини, давайте, собрались і додому поїхали.
With multiple captives secured, the unit advances toward new lines. Entering a nearby settlement, they discover a basement previously occupied by enemy forces.
Спрятался? Голова. Что там? Стой.
Подівлі, підвалі.
Ні, там 4 или 5 їх.
Давай.
The assault begins with a grenade. Several occupiers inside agree to surrender and emerge unarmed. Preliminary reports indicate 4 to 5 prisoners from this location alone. They are questioned and confirm their willingness to surrender, further expanding the exchange pool.
За тобой в плене. Пішли.
Exhausted and demoralized, they are likely to find more stable conditions in Ukrainian captivity than they experienced at the front. Elsewhere, another unit of the 3rd Army Corps conducts a similar assault on a different defensive line. The terrain remains densely forested, though there are exposed areas that must be crossed without cover. In this sector, hostile FPV drone activity is significantly higher, requiring constant vigilance.
Двигаемся! Смотрим норы, лёжки, аккуратно! Кто это стреляет?
Sustained suppressive fire from the assault troops forces the enemy to keep their heads down, allowing further advance. An enemy mortar attempts to engage but fails to locate Ukrainian positions and fires in the wrong direction. Calls for surrender echo across the battlefield.
2 плюс-минус 2-3.
Давите их морально, блядь.
Сдавайся,
Hostile FPV drones attempt strikes but fail to inflict damage.
Целые! Надо двигаться.
Grenades render another shelter unusable. Thick smoke fills the area, severely limiting visibility. An assault soldier moves into a darkened shelter, firing ahead into the obscured interior to prevent any immediate counterattack. The position is cleared. No enemy remains inside. The unit continues advancing toward remaining enemy positions.
Тіло? Плюс. Кажи, біжим.
Давайте, я пішов. Слева по нас. Нормально, братан, не сильно?
Маленькая, о, смотри.
Reports come in of heavy FPV drone activity in the sector, complicating movement. Soldiers must constantly scan the sky while maintaining fire toward enemy positions, dividing their attention between ground threats and aerial danger.
Все, не отвлекаться ни на что. Работаем, просто работаем. Стой! Один 200.
Another shelter is cleared. An enemy radio is discovered, and the unit begins monitoring hostile communications. The commander fires controlled bursts towards suspected enemy locations to prevent counterfire. The position is secured with no enemy detected.
Пару раз. Підходь! Контрольте! Контроль! Минус. Так, сейчас. Контроль 12, сейчас 12. Братан, уже все чисто, зачистили.
Ukrainian assault troops call out enemy call signs to get closer to opposing
Мне
forces.
сказали зайти сюда,
The
группа
ruse
зато
works.
поменять
The
6 человек.
occupiers mistake them for
Вы
allies
вдвоем?
and allow them to approach.
Ты где?
They quickly pay
Где
the
ты?
price
Покажи,
for their
ты не вижу.
miscalculation.
Это ты стрельнул? Нахуя? Ну что ты? Подожди, я перезаряжу. А ну попробуй с ним сейчас забазарить. Братан! Не, он походу здесь.
Не стрелял в потолок.
Да, ну это понял, когда падал. Отходи назад. Надо, чтобы дым вышел, ничего не увидим.
The remaining enemy personnel are instructed to exit their shelter unarmed if they wish to surrender. This ensures the safety of both the assault troops and the prisoners
Ложись на землю,
themselves.
руки за голову.
One of them insists he is not
Руки за
wounded.
голову.
He is given clear instructions.
Замок!
He states that he is a
Рядовой.
regular soldier who has been at the
Сколько
front for
служит?
only 2 weeks. He is given a
Ну не
cigarette
пи***.
while awaiting transfer into custody. The operation concludes successfully. Multiple fortified positions are cleared, numerous prisoners are taken, and the defensive line is significantly weakened. With their objectives achieved, the fighters can finally withdraw and rest before the next mission. Glory to Ukraine. Donetsk region, eastern front of Ukraine. A soldier from the Presidential Brigade shows positions that were previously held by Russian forces and were successfully captured during an assault. Several enemy soldiers were taken prisoner during the operation. He explains where the enemy had placed their machine gun nests, mortar firing points, infantry firing positions, and observation posts used by anti-tank units. The occupiers had been living and sheltering here, hiding from Ukrainian artillery strikes. The position was captured exactly according to plan. The assault was successful. Several enemy soldiers were taken prisoner, and Ukrainian forces seized a large amount of weapons, ammunition, and military equipment. Even now, supplies and some abandoned weapons remain at the position. What once served as a shelter for the enemy is now being used by Ukrainian defenders. The footage you are watching shows the assault on this position. Ukrainian troops move along a forest belt as Russian forces begin attempting a counterattack. Soldiers of the Presidential Brigade advance methodically. As you can see, there are a large number of Russian troops in the area. However, they are unable to stop the momentum of the Ukrainian assault group. The assault troops push forward and soon reach the enemy trenches. Shouts from Russian soldiers can be heard. Some of them are already attempting to surrender. A few enemy fighters continue returning fire, but their ammunition is running low. They cannot reload fast enough. Soon they will either surrender or remain forever in these trenches. Ukrainian soldiers operate with clear coordination, working in pairs. This method allows them to move quickly through trenches while maintaining constant fire coverage without blocking the line of sight of their teammates. Such coordination allows assault units to surround enemy positions and neutralize resistance. Less than an hour after the assault began, Ukrainian forces had already secured a significant portion of the enemy positions. At this stage, the fight transitions from direct firefights to clearing operations. Soldiers search trenches, bunkers, and shelters to eliminate remaining threats and prevent return fire. Most dugouts and defensive structures have already been cleared, and the position is now under Ukrainian fire control. One of the main challenges of this assault was the season. During summer, dense vegetation makes it difficult to observe enemy positions. Before the assault, Ukrainian artillery and mortars heavily struck the area. As a result, much of the foliage was destroyed, allowing drones to observe the battlefield more effectively. Using aerial reconnaissance, key enemy positions were identified in advance. Before the assault began, the soldiers already knew how they would coordinate their movements inside the Russian defensive lines. Before every assault operation, reconnaissance and detailed planning are conducted. Today, reconnaissance has become much more effective thanks to drones, which allows soldiers to monitor enemy activity from the air. According to soldiers from the Presidential Brigade's assault unit, the operation went according to plan. The first prisoners of war are now being escorted away for evacuation. They are questioned for information about passwords, call signs, and the positions of other enemy units further along the defensive line. As we saw earlier in the video, Ukrainian forces can now move freely through these positions that were once held by Russian troops. The Presidential Brigade has a strong reputation within the armed forces of Ukraine. One of the soldiers notes that the operation unfolded almost exactly as planned. Captured ammunition and equipment are now being distributed among Ukrainian troops. Enemy radios have also been seized, allowing Ukrainian forces to monitor Russian communications. Many of these captured resources will now support Ukraine's defense forces. In another operation involving the same brigade, the battle has already begun. Ukrainian soldiers move directly toward enemy positions. The most dangerous part of the mission is crossing open terrain. The soldiers are now moving across a field between two forest belts. The distance is approximately 1.5 kilometers, 1.5 kilometers of constant danger. At any moment, FPV drones, mortar fire, artillery strikes, or small arms fire could target them. The soldiers spot a drone in the sky and immediately attempt to shoot it down. It was most likely a Russian drone preparing to attack their position. The assault group fires an RPG toward enemy trenches and begins advancing. Every assault typically begins with grenades thrown toward enemy positions, followed by intense suppressive fire. This prevents the enemy from raising their heads or returning fire effectively. There are not many enemy soldiers in these trenches. Some of them surrender almost immediately, realizing it is better to give up than be destroyed in the trench. They are questioned on the spot to gather information before the assault continues further along the enemy defensive line. As you can see, the Presidential Brigade carries out its missions with precision and discipline. Enemy prisoners are interrogated in accordance with the Geneva Conventions. Ukrainian forces consistently follow these rules and provide medical assistance to wounded enemy soldiers. The prisoners will soon be evacuated and transferred to prisoner of war camps, where they will receive care. Eventually, many of them will be returned home as part of prisoner exchanges. Thank you for watching. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave your comments. Glory to Ukraine. Glory to the heroes. See you in the next videos. Today, we will watch footage of how the assault troops of the 3rd Army Corps defended Avdiivka. We will see these shots from their cameras, showing how they held the front line despite all the difficulties. It is a reminder of the courage and sacrifices made in the defense of the city, even amid the chaos and risks of retreat. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and like the video.
Идем мы. Как принял, даем. Все, плюс, дави.
Ну що, 4,5 кілометри пройдено.
This footage was recorded in the city of Avdiivka shortly before Ukrainian forces were forced to withdraw. Sadly, the city had to be abandoned. Russian forces managed to seize it after months of continuous attacks. These images show the situation before the final exit. The tension is visible everywhere. The city is almost completely destroyed. The enemy is extremely close, and every movement must be cautious. Avdiivka was one of the most important defensive strongholds for Ukraine in this sector. However, the enemy had a significant numerical advantage. Holding the city any longer would have meant unacceptable losses. For Ukraine, human life comes first. The lives of defenders are more valuable than any position.
Месі, я серфер, ми маємо рухатись, блядь, що там по кадету? Быстрее, заходи. Швед, старт! Вот. Швед, заходите, мы справа. Голодруг.
Fighting continues on the outskirts of Avdiivka. Enemy troops are still hiding in damaged buildings and underground shelters. Assault groups search through ruined structures, room by room. Many enemy fighters are hard to detect because entire neighborhoods are destroyed. Suddenly, enemy shelling begins. Artillery and aviation strike the assault troops of the 3rd Separate Assault Brigade. They must move forward and find cover at the same time. Enemy mortars are also active.
Месі, передай нам.
Укриття, я бачу, як він працює.
Братик, мінус нахуй.
Drone reconnaissance reports that hostile infantry is located just around the corner of a building. The assault group evaluates how to approach and neutralize this threat safely.
Від вас ще один хуйсос, який тільки що з'їбався. Ми змогли зараз побачити. Як прийняв, побачив тільки каску, як прийняв.
Братан, мы уже согрузили, туда летим, сейчас их... Жертва. Не втрачайте, назад.
Швед! Виходим!
Constant artillery impacts are heard. A Ukrainian soldier is wounded. He is immediately evacuated. Aerial footage shows the Avdiivka coke and chemical plant. This massive industrial complex is one of the largest of its kind in Europe. Both Ukrainian and Russian forces are present inside this vast facility. Its size allows entire units to hide within its structures. Drone operators observe enemy movement and report it to infantry on the ground.
Було влучання, бачили. Дякую.
Nearby, assault troops take shelter in a settlement close to the plant. They provide medical aid to each other and perform triage, separating lightly wounded from seriously injured soldiers so evacuation crews know how many vehicles and medics are needed. This plant was once a functioning industrial city. Now it is a battlefield. Inside Avdiivka, movement is a matter of survival. We must always know where the nearest shelter is. Aviation bombs strike the plant. Rocket artillery follows. The Avdiivka coke plant truly became a city inside a city, occupied by both Ukrainian defenders and attacking forces. Infantry prepares to move again.
Братанчик. Да, наверное, туда вдвох нема смысла. Не, зайди сюди. Я на офіс, на орієнтир. Тепер мішки на ножки ложить.
Подготовте ящик БК!
Блять, рюкзак просив.
Ага. Хуя, нормальна позиція.
Була.
Бежим!
Погнали, бос, включай реп.
The withdrawal process continues, but tasks are still being executed until the very last moment. Another wounded soldier is evacuated. Movement must be fast, precise, and quiet.
Поехали!
Давай, туда, давай. Давай. Подержу. Давай. Есть. Брат. Братан, сейчас.
Головой в угол більше.
Не надо ноги, не жми ноги!
Не жми, не руку.
Маленький, держись.
Держись, братик, держись. Ми тут.
Просто, блядь, підари літають на таких частотах, що не завжди реп допомагає.
А уже прощаться.
Ага, блядь. Я тебе, сука, больнички я тебе, сука,
Ще чуть-чуть.
Supplies are unloaded from vehicles, while wounded fighters are loaded. They are transferred to safer transport and driven toward hospitals. Two more soldiers wounded in the legs are evacuated. Another evacuation vehicle arrives. The wounded are handed over to civilian transport and sent to medical facilities. On the approaches to the city, FPV drones are one of the biggest dangers. Every vehicle is a target.
Ох, їбать.
Дальчих нету! Все! Лёг! Вы все, вас сильно дохуя!
Давай, один туда, один.
Давай со мной! Нет, ты в норме на первое сиденье! Давай! Все! Все! Есть!
Молодець, воєнно.
Це по нашу душу.
Even on the road to the hospital, combat medics continue providing care.
Приеду,
Є.
Та ну все одно ти без дрона, що толку, навіть без ліміту будеш. Оп.
Despite the conditions, the soldiers remain in good spirits. They already know that positions will soon be abandoned, but they are relieved to reach safer areas.
парні потихонечку двигаються. З печечкою, без лобового, правда, ну з печечкою.
Units positioned near the coke plant move toward it again.
Гради. Град. Цілий?
some assault groups remain there and must be reinforced to secure a safe withdrawal.
Я ж казав, що я фартовий. І край буде проглядати отут всередині.
The plant is filled with unexploded shells and abandoned munitions. Parallel clearing operations are conducted to avoid running into hidden enemy troops. The enemy is still present. There are many shelters and ruins, so constant vigilance is required.
Дивись сюди, прикол, дивись. Це якийсь літак лос в області. Гради. Падає, сука, диви на гандон. Фосфор летить, да.
Assault troops cover the retreat of vehicles.
Пацани, подсосете на посвідчення.
They leave their shelters and continue moving. Positions are changed constantly to avoid being targeted by enemy fire.
Та це пізда, піти буде, бля. Кстати, отут може бути бенз. Уже.
They find stored water and rehydrate. Then they continue clearing operations.
Нам долотить колон. Кастре десь в укриття. Беркут, Фені. Вон сині ворота. Вон. От туди заходить. От туди. Плюс. Все. Піздуйте. Я йду зустрічати.
This footage was recorded just days before the complete withdrawal from Avdiivka. The fighters performed their tasks with discipline and professionalism. They destroyed enemy positions and defended the city for as long as it was militarily reasonable. But the enemy's numerical advantage and growing losses made continued defense impossible. Ukrainian assault units are among the most experienced urban fighters in modern warfare. They are trained for trench and building clearing, operating under drone observation, moving in small assault groups, providing medical aid under fire. Their combat experience is now studied by military instructors worldwide. These troops fight not only for territory, but for evacuation routes, wounded comrades, and civilian lives. Their discipline, adaptability, and courage are what allow Ukraine to survive in conditions of constant pressure. Thank you for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments, support the Defense Forces of Ukraine. See you in the next video. Glory to Ukraine, glory to the heroes. Donetsk Front. Before you is an assault unit from one of Ukraine's elite special assault brigades. You are witnessing real-time operational planning directly on the front line. The squad commander briefs his fighters on the direction of attack and their behavior during the assault. He asks each soldier about readiness and reminds them, as soon as contact with the enemy begins, the group must split and advance from different angles, forming a semi-encirclement. Machine gunners receive instructions to watch the flanks to prevent the enemy from firing into the assault group from the sides. Ukrainian assault troops are among the most effective units in the armed forces. They undergo specialized training for trench warfare, close combat, and drone-guided maneuvering. The unit will use a mix of weapons, assault rifles, machine guns, grenade launchers, and Western small arms systems.
Заходим на центр, блядь, сразу холм. Ваша задача, блядь, чуть-чуть пробега, блядь, вдоль по горизонту. То есть вот этот ближний холм. Ты будешь... Что с пташкой? У нас у всех рация, на 2 человека одна рация. У вас двойка раз, у нас двойка.
The squad commander reports the beginning of movement. Weapons are loaded. Final checks are made. Communication with the command post is established. From above, reconnaissance drones observe the battlefield and transmit real-time data to the fighters. The commander carries an AR platform rifle. Other soldiers are armed with Kalashnikov pattern rifles and similar systems. The command to begin the assault is given. The group moves toward enemy positions. Distance to the enemy, approximately 100 meters.
На зв'язку. Зв'язку. Пташечка басейн не
Що, давай? Давай.
Тихенько рух. Що туди і
Отлично, там как раз внимание отвлекает, то арта сейчас хуярит. Подожди, пока пойдем, бежим нахуй.
Отлично. Самое главное, смотри, когда мы уже будем подходить, тебе тогда... Тут, рух! Все, понеслась, блядь. Всех убивайте быстрее. Плюс, смотри, там нажимать, что я оказался.
Some fighters take elevated positions and open fire on enemy trenches. Russian forces have built numerous underground shelters and foxholes. Grenades are thrown into the first dugouts. The commander fires a grenade launcher and continues advancing. This marks the beginning of direct assault. Suppressive fire is intense. Before entering any position, it must be thoroughly fired upon. This is not a waste of ammunition. It is necessary to prevent ambushes inside trenches. Enemy positions are gradually taken. The unit advances toward the next defensive line, roughly another 100 meters ahead. The commander orders the group to secure captured positions under a small hill. Roll call is conducted. Some fighters hold ground while others prepare to move forward. Communication with headquarters continues. Artillery support is requested. 80mm mortars are prepared to suppress enemy resistance. After mortar strikes, the assault group resumes its advance.
Поднимайся, прикрывай. Не. Давай, давай!
The enemy shelters are targeted with grenades and gunfire. Machine gun teams prepare to cover the flanks. Enemy voices are heard. The commander notes that the enemy camouflage blends well with green terrain. 3 enemy shelters are identified. One mission objective: deliver food and ammunition to a friendly unit that had been partially encircled. This operation is partly a rescue mission. Supplies and water are requested urgently. Positions are coordinated to prevent friendly fire.
Закрепляйся в норе! Держи левый сектор! Ангел, ко мне, быстро! Где ангел? Кройте левый фланг!
А с кем ты был в паре пулеметчиков? Блядь, ну у нас, господа, у нас ситуация патовая. Тот не умеет, тот не умеет, все, блядь. Тех забирать. Я 3. Доповедь ждем. Теплачок. У кого кому это теплачок? Монитор. Давай передай питбуль теплак. Пятером встанем в яме, я вашу мать, распределитесь нахуй по 5 метров друг между другом, бля. Вы шо, блядь? Откатись назад.
soldiers use the same weapons. Some rifles use different calibers, so ammunition cannot always be shared. Kalashnikov rifles use 5.45 by 39 millimeters and 7.62 by 39 millimeters rounds. Each fighter must carefully manage his own ammunition. This is one of the hardest realities of trench warfare.
Бо они, пидоры, бля, хорошо замаскированы, форма уебанская в цвет нашей зелени. Так, они ласкал рыбачку. Чую, слушай, если есть возможность там секрет, бля, чуть-чуть сыпануть, блядь. Мы ждем подкрепления и пойдем чистить. Тут, блядь, 3 норы точно есть, блядь. Пацанов, чтобы у меня в рюкзаке захватили гранаты. Возле блиндажа ухода, блядь. Так, а что, им сказали носить припасы, хай несут пулемет, блядь. Чем... Давайте сюда подтягивайтесь, блядь! Нет, там все четко, там магазины и гранаты, и дыма, и ничего лишнего. А, инкассатор, слышишь? Тихому БК на Калаху, блядь, нашим хлопцам, которые в окружении стояли. Блядь, вот тут 2 инженера, питбули, еще кого-то, хай несут как раз БК, блядь. И водички пару бутылок за. На зв'язку.
Я прийняв.
Принял, плюс. Инкассатор передач, чтобы этих, я не знаю, как с ними связаться там, с кем, блядь. Чтоб 2 инженера, гранаты там, если есть какие, берут по максимуму. И пару бутылок воды там нашкребут в блиндажах.
Плюс, дивись, ми на цій стороні закріпили. Тепер
от тебя будет хорошо. И смотри, там сейчас будет скоро к тебе лифчик идти. Может потянуться ближе к нам. У вас там 5 целых, я правильно понимаю? Восемь плюс. Давайте 2 в сторону нашу, блин. Надо эту ебучую посадку держать всю, чтобы мышь, сука, не проскочила, блядь. Пацаны, что по гранатам? Сколько гранат? Какого? Большого или там, где мы сейчас? Экономьте одиночными. Натовские сейчас у кого есть. Плюс принял. Пацаны, в укрытие, сейчас МК будет. Левый сектор. 2 человека туда пойдут зачищать. 1 со мной. Они, блядь, у них связи, наверное, нету гранаты. Да я сейчас сразу, блядь. Смотри, справа сейчас надо сразу, ебать. Какая-то хуйня. Аккуратно тут кабушки, все же нервно, блядь. Вон, Она пустая, она пустая. Граната разряжена, да?
Enemy resistance weakens. Some Russian groups retreat. Underfoot lie unexploded shells and damaged munitions. Every step may be the last. Destroyed enemy shelters are rechecked. The enemy has abandoned many positions. A command is received. Fire on sight. Enemy fighters are detected in an uncleared shelter. Small enemy groups continue firing sporadically. They understand their position is collapsing.
Что, рыбачок, что такое? Блядь, говорите медленно и четко, блядь, я не понимаю. Я за... Блядь, сука. Вон смотри, какая хуйня стоит, блядь. Эдос, быстро выйди на связь. Ты ли пробег... Пацаны, внимательно в спину и ту сторону. Там был, блядь, какой-то... Да погоди, дай дышаться, блядь. Там мне зерно.
The commander calls a fighter who lost radio contact. Communication is restored. The group spreads out. Concentration of personnel is dangerous. One artillery shell or mine can eliminate an entire squad. Spacing saves lives. 2 enemy soldiers are detected, still resisting. They refuse to surrender. Artillery fire is adjusted to avoid friendly casualties.
Пацаны, аккуратно с угла, Эндус будет заходить. Не пойду, я слепой. Надо, чтобы вы проходили дальше. Одновременно. Надо идти туда. На зв'язку.
Another enemy fighter is believed to be nearby. Only aerial reconnaissance can locate him. The commander orders the enemy to surrender. 5 minutes are given. The enemy refuses and continues firing.
А где там два пидора было? Где два пидора было? За холмом. Плюс. Чтобы он сзади не обошел нас, блядь. У нас в левом углу, там где мы, блядь. Там где-то пидор. Пидорас, блядь! Пидорас! 5 минут нахуй, блядь! Или 5 минут даю тебе, сука, выйти, блядь! Живи на... Монитор левый угол, блядь! Да, что зачищены, туда можно...
This operation demonstrates discipline, coordination, drone integration, and courage. Ukrainian assault troops are among the most adaptive forces in modern warfare. They combine classic infantry tactics with drone reconnaissance and real-time battlefield control. Their experience in trench assaults has shaped new military doctrines studied by foreign instructors. They fight not only for territory, but for supply routes, wounded comrades, and survival itself. Thank you for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments, support the defense forces of Ukraine. Glory to Ukraine, glory to the heroes. Ukrainian troops disembark from an armored vehicle and immediately enter the trench system. Enemy positions are confirmed ahead. Fighters of the 3rd Separate Assault Brigade prepare for direct engagement. A reconnaissance drone monitors the battlefield from above. It detects hostile firing points and relays their coordinates to the assault team in real time. The attack begins. Grenades are launched into the first enemy shelters.
По вашему вектору направления. И туда гранату.
Сейчас закинуть или когда будем продвигаться уже?
Сейчас.
Вот это значит справа он. Плюс... Прям в яму.
Прикрывай горы. Прикрывай горы.
Кричит, кричит.
Горы, не мешать.
Не зря в детстве баскетболом занимался.
The assault unit reaches the initial enemy dugouts inside the trench line. An enemy FPV drone approaches the position. The fighters manage to destroy it in the air. Progress is slow due to heavy mud and non-stop shelling. Artillery and mortar fire force the group to move carefully and stay low. Enemy soldiers are identified inside the trench and engaged with grenades and small arms fire.
их нас. Да. Это Добрыня, только что видели пидора. Он встал, побежал назад. Я открывал ему огонь с пеняку, не знаю.
Замену дрона, когда смогу, скажу, принял.
Сюда иди, становись сюда.
Several enemy troops are eliminated inside the trench. They are no longer able to resist. The unit advances in intervals of 5 to 15 meters to minimize losses from artillery and drones. Drone surveillance shows that other Ukrainian assault teams are entering the same positions from different directions. Mortar fire supports their movement forward. The assault pushes deeper into the enemy trench network. While one soldier throws grenades, others cover him with rifle fire. FPV drones remain a constant danger overhead. The fighters continuously exchange information about enemy movement and stay in contact with drone operators guiding them.
Прыжок делайте по команде.
3 пидора перед нами, малой. 3 пидора метров 25.
Кинь гранат, кинь гранат. Займи укрытие, закончится стрельба, делаешь прыжок.
Есть возможность чего-то въебать по пидорам там перед нами, которые...
Альфа, укрытие. Конкретнее.
Кровь.
Я пошел.
Да? Что делаем? Рассказывай.
Помогать им. Все, давайте.
Архиз, я.
Кто еще?
Последний двое. Вот они идут. Один раптор! Сейчас.
Выдвигайтесь, говорю.
Давай.
По маршруту первого.
Давай, братан.
The group reaches a forested section where trenches are deeper and shelters more frequent. The terrain becomes more complex and dangerous. Earlier, the enemy attempted to take these positions in order to disrupt Ukrainian supply routes toward Bakhmut. And control of this area is vital for moving troops, ammunition, and equipment.
Контузило? Раптор, давай одупляйся, контузил. Man, we have ordered our guys take down two. We call where your guys?
Радио не работает или тут не connect.
Have problems and they try to speak or so I don't know how to help because we need to go.
Потому что им нужна помощь в эвакуации. На связи.
Американцам нужна помощь в эвакуации.
Сейчас приедет наша коробка и их заберет.
Плюс принял.
Слышь, одни ребра стали. А куда ты идешь?
С тобой, да? С тобой. Мы с тобой.
Там есть укрытие? Давай, братан. Братан, скаку. О! Братан.
The fighters encounter concealed bunkers and underground firing points. There is a constant danger from mines, unexploded ordnance, and enemy soldiers hiding beneath the surface. Some trench sections are shallow and offer little protection, making them highly vulnerable to drone-dropped explosives and mortar strikes.
Плюс-плюс, двигайтесь потихоньку.
Плюс-плюс.
Да, да. Я за тобой. Ты посадки. Сука. Ногу подвернул, блядь.
Всім весом, блядь, на ногу. Ну що ж ти так? Щас, пацани. Ай, блядь.
Фу, ебать, тоже ногу приземлился. Тут проходили ребята с синими повязками?
Та у них вже стільки
Ну, наши. Все. Ой, блядь, сука. Нагружено, что пиздец.
А ці двоє казали.
Еще двое.
Эвакуировать. Да.
Да, мы идем.
After clearing each segment, 1 or 2 fighters remain behind to secure the rear and prevent enemy counterattacks. Thick mud slows movement and clogs weapons and gear. Soldiers must repeatedly clean their rifles to keep them functional. Despite fatigue, the unit continues to push forward.
Давай, давай. Правильно помогаешь. О, слава Украине.
Отлично.
Чуть посложнее.
У него тяжелое ранение, он руками помогает.
Да.
А этот, блядь, пидоры!
Да, через дорогу есть траншея. Там пидоры, они будут планировать перебежать дорогу.
Captured positions are inspected for ammunition, equipment, documents, and enemy devices. All recovered materials are sent for intelligence analysis. If prisoners are taken, they are evacuated for questioning to gather information about enemy defenses and troop movements.
Хо-хо. Да.
Они должны пойти по линии Q и соединить.
The assault unit nears the enemy's primary defensive positions. As they approach fortified areas, resistance grows stronger. The fighters disperse and advance one by one, covering each other's movement. Any group that stays together too long becomes an easy target for drones and artillery.
Ух, нихуя.
The operation continues according to plan. Enemy positions are gradually taken under control. Success depends on coordination, drone guidance, and strict discipline. Thank you for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave your comments. Support the Defense Forces of Ukraine. See you in the next video. Glory to Ukraine. Glory to the heroes.
Альфа на зв'язку для Мойши.
На 12.
The 3rd Army Corps and its assault units, the 3rd Separate Assault Brigade, the Azov Regiment, and other assault formations. Today, we observe their actions during an assault on enemy positions in the Donetsk direction, one of the hottest sectors of Russia's war against Ukraine. The assault group dismounts at the starting point and moves toward the first buildings. Almost immediately, they come under artillery fire and take shelter inside a half-destroyed structure.
Коротше, план такий. Другий. Після мого вистріла кулеметник буде десь звідси, треба тут вас знайти точку. Все, займають тут позицію. Мова група. Так, пошли, я вам зараз покажу, куди вам бігти.
The danger comes not only from artillery, but also from FPV drones and enemy infantry. Their task is to clear this settlement near Bakhmut. The group checks weapons and equipment and prepares to begin the assault. They leave cover, take firing positions, and observe enemy movement. The group commander gives orders. A firefight begins.
Плюс-плюс, пацани, починайте роботу. Ще один даю в дом далі. Братан, всі на своїх місцях чекають команди. Зараз ми вам, блядь, дамо пізди. Рекси, сука. Зараз машини роблять діло.
Rocket launchers, RPG-7s, and small arms are used. The first two-story building is stormed. Grenades are thrown inside. After the explosions, the assault continues with rifle fire. The building catches fire. The fighters call on the occupiers to surrender, but they refuse. Russian propaganda has convinced them they will be tortured in captivity. In reality, the worst torturers are their own commanders.
Хто, пацани, дивиться цей відос і знає, що він оставив оцих два чудесних карандаша отут в гаражі.
Дуда, панам PPV, PPV, панам PPV.
Russian forces torture Ukrainian prisoners through beatings, starvation, and interrogations. Despite this, Ukrainian assault troops maintain high morale and fight effectively. Drone surveillance monitors the battlefield. This sector is almost cleared. Explosions light up the darkness. Grenades and automatic fire continue.
Хуяряться там шольви. Снимає камера там, да? Привет. Пацаны по 20 лет, по 18. Підорові бачать, сука, що дебіли. А ви, сука, як шлюхи обоссані повкучені. Фу, у мене все.
30-й, як прийняв? Прийом. Все робимо по команді. Їм, я дивися, на зв'язок. Там не можу, там діти.
Давай.
Вот.
Now, the Azov Brigade of the 3rd Army Corps enters the forest belt. The assault begins on enemy dugouts. A grenade explodes. The fighters immediately move inside. They motivate each other constantly and act decisively. Discipline and training bring results. The enemy bunker is cleared.
Кінець траншеї, рухайся.
Есть винтаж на него. Прямо сейчас.
The fighters operate in pairs. One throws a grenade, the other provides cover. Then they switch roles. When one reloads, he signals his partner. The partner covers him. Most use Kalashnikov rifles because captured ammunition can be used immediately. Some carry M4 or M16 rifles for greater accuracy.
Плюс. Сюди, тут нормально.
This choice is practical. The enemy uses the same caliber ammunition. It can be captured and reused directly during combat. Every operation is planned in advance. Enemy positions are studied by drones and ground scouts. All data is analyzed before the assault begins.
Сейчас чекать придется. Чекай. Своя? Плюс. Четко в бійницю зашло. Партія з тобою. Один бліндаж. Зуб. Ліво. Пішла ще одна. Ще одну. Їх атаки ще.
Another enemy position is attacked. It burns. No enemy is visible. The group continues forward. Forest combat is extremely dangerous. Trees provide cover, but also hide drones and ambushes. The fighters enter the next shelters. The enemy is already withdrawn.
Давай.
Проходь. Граната. Тримай. Хорошо. Лідл, давай опять. Арті, чекай. Давай, я з Арті обідаю. Зліва вогонь, парні, прикрийте взой! Даю туда гранату. Правіше. Зуб. Ще одна граната. Арті, я... Крий. Я прикидав гранату, так. Рух, коп чистий. Все, жди. Свічі. Давай. Тримай.
Давай, защищай.
Передай літу. Літу. Зліва бліндаж. Літу. Сусанна! Рух. Рухаюся. Плюс. Я тримаю ліву. Давай.
The trenches here are narrow and shallow. Movement is difficult. Fighters stay below ground level. A machine gunner provides covering fire. The PKM machine gun is used, reliable and powerful. Every assault group must have a machine gunner. This weapon decides many infantry battles.
Відходимо.
Це буде круто!
Підпав. Чисто! Розтягуємося. По лівому флангу кулемет! Відтягуємося, стінись. Блять. Хлопці, я включив. Економим БК! Охуєнно. Да.
Тут точно, блядь, можна мінити.
От эта движуха, я ебанулся.
The fighters reach the end of the enemy positions. Beyond this line is the gray zone and the enemy rear. Most Russian troops have retreated. Those who stayed were eliminated. No one surrendered during this phase.
Да! Триваюся, пацани!
Again, the 3rd Separate Assault Brigade attacks the forest belt. The fighters dismount from an armored vehicle and advance under its fire support. The heavy machine gun suppresses enemy positions. The ramp stays open for possible evacuation of wounded.
Да, замок. Надо же. Давай наперед. Охуєнно.
Ukrainian forces must cross open terrain, extremely dangerous. They constantly watch the sky for drones. A grenade launcher fires at a fortified position, distance to the enemy about 250 to 300 meters. They move under armored cover toward the forest belt.
туди. Давайте, давайте. Отут, отут, отут пізду. Все. Просуваємо. Стоп! Просуваємося! Просуваємося!
Spacing between fighters is maintained to avoid casualties from one strike. They hide behind the armored vehicle's silhouette. The order is given to enter the forest belt. Distance to the enemy drops below 100 meters.
Крайний за... Пошли! Газ, блядь, пошли нахуй! Одні окопи зачистили, йдемо в другі! Сука, прикрив!
Suppressive fire continues. They enter trenches and clear the first shelters. They offer surrender. The occupiers refuse. A grenade is used. The position is cleared.
Лап зачищено! Де інженера?
Another fortified enemy position is attacked. Small arms, grenade launchers, and heavy machine guns are used. The armored vehicle moves close to provide protection and evacuation if needed. Grenades are thrown inside. Ammunition and trophies are collected. Replenishing ammunition from captured supplies is normal practice. Each fighter carries about 40 kilograms of gear. Ammunition is heavy and must be reused when possible.
Дай дим! Дай дим! Делай сопротивление! Блядь, не втик. Гранату! Да. Дергачку. Дергачку. Переходь туда, крий. Все, жмур. Точно жмур. Туда, ебаш!
This position is a key enemy strong point. Its fortifications make direct capture difficult. Explosives and grenades must be used. A tall mast with antennas is visible, used for communications and drone control. This was an important enemy node.
Як чуєш мене? Запустили перві окопи, вторі. Ми вам привеземо сам приколи, не переживай, уже имеется. Заходь! Заходь! Туда! Пулеметчик! Туда крий! Що? Бий, давай гранати! Гранати! Здавайся, будеш жить, блядь, дурак! Здавайся! Томати, здавайся! Сейчас. Посадку, рюкзак взял, посадку.
The enemy is again offered surrender. Gunfire follows. The operation ends successfully. Thank you for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave comments. Glory to Ukraine. Glory to the heroes. See you in the next videos.
Малий, сюди! Санта, займи там місце. Закрию.